Good evening and welcome back to the Red Devils Roundup on the Balls Out podcast. We are back. We've had a hiatus. We've had a little break in the postseason. As you can see, our reigning defending Balls Out 2025 quiz champion from our previous episode before we had our little break is alongside me as usual. Mark, good evening, mate. How you doing? Are you still on mute?
What a great start to coming back.
Great
You see,
start.
still half asleep, still not used to the controls. It's like the first pre-season.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Obviously, happy to be the quiz champion. I'm not quite sure where that's going to pan out over the season. You know, I might be on mastermind, but
It
yeah,
may open so many doors.
it may also slam a lot in my face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, let's get the ball rolling and get back into the swing of the wonder show of Manchester United.
Yeah, so yeah, we're back. We've had a little break. Before the break we had a little quiz which was really good fun. As you can see, Mark's the champion. And we just decided to have a little break before we start kicking into gear in the rev up to the new season. Obviously, none of us give a shit about the Club World Cup. Nobody could really care less about the transfer
I
rooms.
have it on now.
You have it on now.
Yeah.
Evening, Saba. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Yeah, so well, I couldn't care less about the Club World Cup. So
it's football for me.
it's football. Yeah, I suppose it itches a scratch. I suppose. Yeah,
And it's Real Madrid, so I've got it on. And they're shit.
Really appreciate the sub, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Really good to have you on board. Yeah, Real Madrid playing now. And as I can see by your picture, you must be a Ala Madrid fan or a bit of both. But you're welcome either way. So, yeah, obviously, when I originally planned this show for this evening, I messaged Mark and I didn't really know what we were going to talk about. And then the light bulb went off. Oh, shit, the club, the Premier League are releasing their fixtures today. Bang, now we've got content. We've got something to talk about. And it has caused... We have a Balls Out podcast group chat, and it caused carnage. I'm trying to drive and do my job today, driving around London. I've just got notification. It's kicking off. Everyone arguing with each other, as usual.
Well, I wouldn't say it was arguments, but I'm starting to feel like we need to be part of the SAS. Hand grenades going off everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much exactly that. So I will bring up the fixtures. So I was saying, sad and disappointed that Madrid's first half performance. Mark, what's the first half performance been like?
Like a team that doesn't really want to be there. But
Trent starts, right?
Yeah, Trent started. No Mbappe. Otherwise, pretty much just normal starting 11.
0-0 or 1-0 or what?
No, 1-1. Al Hilal scored a penalty to equalise. Some will say it's a penalty. Some will say it wasn't. But Madrid's goal was an absolute joke. He mishit it onto his standing foot and it bobbled over the top of the keeper as he was diving.
Who scored? Vinny?
No, I can't think what his name is. It's the young striker up front that they brought in at the beginning of last season. Was it beginning of the season before? But yeah, he's good little striker. But it was just one of those comicals. He's taken his eye off the ball. It's hit his standing foot, double hit, gone over the goalkeeper and
in. Gonzalo Garcia and Ruben Neves scored for Al Hilal.
Yeah, Ruben Neves and João Cancelo played for Al Hilal.
And in other news, England 21s 0, Germany under 21s 2. I know the England. No, 46 minutes in.
Well, England... mate, it was 5-5 like when we played them a couple of days ago, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, England needed a draw to make it through to the quarterfinals at the weekend, so we shall see. But yeah, as we were saying, obviously the fixtures came out today, caused a bit of a row and a bit of a debate. I will bring up the fixtures in full. And I will spotlight it. There we are. Is that readable? Can we read that? Yeah, just about. Cool.
I've got them in front of me anyway, so.
So as you can see, our opening 5 fixtures, Arsenal at home.
Well, look at opening 8 games.
Let me get it on my phone as well. So our first 8 opening games, Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Burnley at home, Man City away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, Sunderland at home, Liverpool away.
Yeah.
So I'll tell the ladies and gentlemen that are watching what caused the argument, and we will get their opinion, and then you can have your say, Mark, on why it was what other people in the chat thought was quite
Oh,
controversial.
it's passion, isn't it? It's football passion.
So
You'll
this
know.
was thing is this is Mark. I'm saying you're saved as Mark L podcast on my phone. So Mark L podcast says, thing is, I would take a defeat or a draw here just to have it out of the way, but I think we will beat them. Now that caused quite the chaos and the controversy. So why don't you just give us a bit more on the back of that? What you actually were sort
Yeah.
of getting at?
Like, first game of the season, there's no such thing as a football fan that doesn't go in with high hopes, going, we're going to win the league, and expect, first game of the season, it's a win, it's 3 points. And then you get drawn against the team that finished second and probably the biggest bottlers in the league. I'd like to play Arsenal in the last 5 games if I was going to play them, because
The
that's when they
bridesmaids.
start losing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in those first 8 games, we would take maybe half the points available. Lose to Arsenal, lose to City, lose to Liverpool, maybe lose to Chelsea. Is that a bad thing? Is that not the
So
expected?
that you would have 3, 6, 9, 12 points after 8 games.
But you've played the expected top 4 finishing. So there's nothing worse. So I see it from my point of view. If it was my team playing,
Yeah.
if you go win, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, draw, loss, you get no momentum.
Yeah.
So if you get this bunch of the best teams out early doors, I think we would have played every slip-up team you would expect potentially to lose
Yeah.
by November. Every single one's gone, and then you're picking up all these points. Last time I checked, we did not finish in the top 8.
No.
We did not finish in the top 10.
Nope. Or
Not
the top
even
15.
top 12,
Yeah.
So to lose to the team that finished second, it might be a 1-0. If you actually look at our results last year, we lost twice. Set piece. Every goal was a set piece.
Yeah.
We didn't get beat in that respect. We held our own. Some would say we probably deserved the winning, and at least one of them.
Evening, James. Good to see you. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Yeah, let us know what you're thinking of the opening fixtures. Mark's had his say on Arsenal. I do agree with you, Mark, to an extent. I agree that we have to be. I said it in the chat. We have to be optimistic and realistic in equal measure. We have to be on the case of we are United fans. We want our team to go out and win every single match. That is not realistic. But we can still hope and hope. The hope is what kills you. So in the sense of, yes, if we lose to Arsenal, but lose 1-0, 2-1, you sort of take it.
It's about the performance, right?
It's about the performances in those opening games. On the basis of our first, let's say 5 games, Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley, City, Chelsea, right? If we lose to Arsenal, City, and possibly draw with Chelsea, but then beat Fulham and Burnley, I would consider that, all right. It's not
that's
great.
more points than we took last season against those two.
Yeah.
So it's a progression, yeah?
So that's what
we'd say Burnley, Southampton, or whoever. So I would expect 3 points Burnley. We did not have that good a reputation against Fulham.
No, we
it's
beat.
Such a hit or miss game.
Was it 1-1, 96th minute last when we played the Cottage?
They're the games where we take our foot off the gas. I think we beat them away and drew them at home. Maybe.
No, I think it was the other way round.
Was it?
Yeah, I'll find it.
But yeah, no. Just in general, it's they're a bit of a bogey side. 1-1 in March at home. Oh no, that was cup, wasn't it? And then we lost on penalties to them. So we played them 3 times last season.
So we
and
won.
Fulham had the season of their life. We beat them in the league at theirs.
Yeah, beat them 1-0, and then we beat them 1-0 at home. So we scored the double over them in
But
last
in
season.
general, they tend to be a problematic side
But
for
it
us.
is a bogey team. I think we'll do well next season playing once a week. Yeah, absolutely. No, I've been hollering at this for months, James. As much as it was paining to lose the Europa League final.
Only if we get the transfers in.
Yeah, only if the right players come in, and we've heard it in the last week or so, and Mark talked about it with Jarvis and Stu on the Tactical Devils when he represented us very well indeed. You guys spoke about Gyökeres and that sort of side of it. The players that are not looking to come in for Champions League football and play for Manchester United is sort of what seems to be the sort of shopping cart we're shopping in at the minute.
It's about mentality. That's pretty much it's the big thing going around at the moment. I saw, I can't think what his name is, the ex-Palace player on Sky. He's saying it's about mentality. Gary Neville, everyone like that. They're all saying it, but they're jumping on our bandwagon, I like to think, for what I said. I think. Doesn't need to be the best player, but it needs to be the player who plays for this and not for this. And at the moment, Gyökeres is, I 100% don't want him now because of everything that's gone
Yeah, I agree.
on. Osman,
No,
I
definitely.
was sort of explaining on Tactical Devils. I'm unsure of if he fits our system and about everything he brings, but he seems the only logical choice. Ekatike, no chance. You might as well just sign Hoyland 2.0.
Yeah.
So we'll see. For me, I'd rather get Emi Martinez in a right wing back and a central midfielder and stick with the striker we got. As long as we get him there, knowing we keep forgetting it's not a done deal, but
That's not. I mean, we were talking before we had our break. We were talking, admittedly, as if it was. It looked almost like the ink was nearly dry on the pen before it got. And obviously, the Thomas Frank moving to Spurs has obviously thrown a spanner in the works.
No,
At the
apparently
end,
we haven't got that kind of money. They're not going to have that kind of money available through
well,
PSR.
obviously because they've also just had to pay off Ange Postecoglou.
That's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. So, but going back to our fixtures, so like we say, I agree with you to a point. If we have a good performance against Arsenal but lose 1-0, 2-1, I can accept it absolutely. Fulham, as much as Fulham were really impressive last year, again, I would like to see us beat Fulham, beat Burnley, again, put a good performance up against City. Chelsea at home, I would like to see us beat, but they're normally notorious for bore draws after the build up. Brentford away, bit of a bogey team, and then I would like to think, as much as Sunderland are going to be physical, I would like to think that's sort of like an underlying rival for us.
So
Had
we're
such a
lucky. We've
good.
got two promoted sides, haven't we? In those games, we've got two promoted sides, which could go either way. Joe Bellingham's not the biggest loss for Sunderland. He's not his brother. When we don't know what they're bringing with that money.
Yeah.
Brentford, new manager, different formation. We don't know what they're going to be playing like. So that's a new team, really. Chelsea, well, Chelsea's Chelsea. I just hope people start seeing Delap doesn't score goals. He does all the running, won't score the goals. City, we beat numerous times over the last couple of years now. Burnley, be great seeing Hannibal coming back to Old Trafford, but because he's really done his job. Fulham, yeah, there's points there. There are points there. You could easily say draw against Arsenal, beat Fulham, Burnley win, draw against City, draw against Chelsea, Brentford maybe, Sunderland we should get 3 points, and then you're at Liverpool, which I'll take a loss.
Well, we don't expect to beat Liverpool in considering our most recent form against them.
Although Liverpool don't play well against bottom of the league sides in history. So.
James makes a good point. He's made several good points already, James. But I'm going to bring this one up because we were just talking about him. Not wanting Gyökeres is a big take. I understand that us not wanting him because he would prefer an Arsenal move, but he's still a bags man that knows Ruben's system. Mark, any thoughts?
I agree with what he's saying, and that's why I would want him. But all this bullshit going on around the deal, this is most likely his agent or some family or something like that. I don't want it at the club.
Yeah.
That is what needs to be out the club. before anything else. This stinks of Sancho. This stinks of Rashford. This just stinks of wrong mentality.
Yeah, speaking
Goals.
go on.
If I was playing FIFA, Ultimate Team, I'm putting this guy in.
Yeah.
On stats because I don't have to actually deal with an agent and everything that comes with him. Entourage is what is destroying football in general.
Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah,
so
wholeheartedly agrees.
Yeah, that's my only fear, and that's my fear of why there's strikers out there. I don't understand why we don't take on a free. Jonathan Davis. Is a Canadian international striker, top goal scorer. Well, second top goal scorer in France, more like 3, 4, 5 seasons in a row, but he's always up there. You put him with, we've already signed one of our top 5 in the Premier League, and Bruno will be another one in the top 5 if we get him. You bring in goals, it doesn't matter who's playing, then there's extra goals in the team with Bruno. But
yeah, James is spot on. Fed up with Garnacho's brother type people.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely spot on.
Why do you think Garnacho's going? It's more his family. But of course, so many problems, and Garnacho not helping Garnacho because he's sticking with his family. I get it, it's this Latino pride. I get that. I wholeheartedly understand it. But if we look at Garnacho and then we look at Gyökeres, are they not roughly around the same sort of problems right now?
Yeah, considering all the stuff that's come out with this Gyökeres deal, that's sort of been bombarded by agents and agents claiming that Sporting know nothing about this gentleman's agreement. It's all a farce that we just don't need, and we really need to be focusing. As much as we need to bring players in, we seriously need to be really focused on getting the players out.
Yeah.
Because we need to monetize people like Rashford, like Sancho, who is on the news this afternoon, a possible deal with Napoli.
Yeah, but they only want to pay him 150,000, and he's on 300,000.
Well,
so
he's going to go. So it's up to him whether we sell him. Well, at the end of the day, he won't go. But it's either we sell him to Napoli, where he can play every week in an Italian league, which he'll likely thrive in, or we sell him to Saudi and he gets his 300 grand a week if Saudi even want him, because we haven't heard a peep from Saudi saying they want to buy Sancho.
But a lot of people are forgetting that transfer window has only really opened now. We would have been planning everything before. Like, if we'd done our job properly, planning for this window started in February, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't
basically,
I think it was April, May that they announced that extra window where we signed Cunha in it.
So where is it? It's not on today's gossip board. It'll be on tomorrow's. But yeah, Jadon Sancho likely to be meeting with executives in Naples over a deal for him. But yeah, the big issue there is money. Obviously, you've taken the drop. But yeah, people like Garnacho, we need to be monetizing Sancho, Rashford. Again, the Rashford stuff's gone quiet.
I'll tell you the two that's gone quiet or really need to go. Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Can't have someone who's been at the club 10 years and only actually played 5 years of football.
Yep.
Right? Tyrell Massia.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember us signing him? Like, he's had a hell of a time with his operation. It failed and he's had it redone. But unfortunately, he went on loan to, I'm going to get the wrong one. He went back to Holland, didn't he? It's PSV. Was it Eindhoven? It was wherever we bought him from. And he didn't play that many matches. So he's still struggling. He's so young, he probably needs a couple of years out. So you're probably not going to sell him. Anthony, bullshit going on about dual ownership. Like, it's going to be hard to get people out because of Ed Woodward putting people on too much money and then fucking off.
So the 3 transfers that came out of United. So Tom Heaton's got 2 stars next to his name because there's discussions over a new contract.
Yeah, we might be putting him onto coaching staff.
Yeah, which is fine.
He would make a phenomenal coach, I think, in the future.
Obviously, Christian Eriksen, we expected. Johnny Evans, Hubert Grasiek,
youngster.
Jack Kingdon,
youngster.
Obviously, Victor Lindelof, we expected.
Most of them are 21s, but we've let go.
Yeah, Sam Murray, Tom Miles, James Nolan, and Tom Worcester are the others. And Scholars, they've been moved up. And then obviously you've got all the players that are staying. But yeah, Luke Shaw is on that list. Contract has been offered to Ashton Misson, which is obviously a youngster as well.
Yeah. James makes the point here. Luke Shaw isn't going anywhere. He's, basically, again, what we're saying, he's on too much money. But that's the whole Sancho issue. All right, don't fucking pay me off. Fuck off on a free. Take millions when I actually do move to someone. Everyone's in that boat, and it's what's ruining us.
And it's the problem is, yeah, you're right. And the real problem is that Premier League stars, which you can't deny, as much as their performances have been poor, like you get thrown that word around, stars in the Premier League. Luke Shaw and Jadon Sancho are Premier League stars, considering Sancho hasn't played much Premier League football.
But don't get me wrong, Luke Shaw had the potential to be probably the next big left back since Roberto Carlos. He had that potential. I think he's absolutely brilliant when he's on form.
Well, that Euros campaign, he was unbelievable.
Before he got it, yeah. When he scored in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely unreal. So him and there was an Italian, Spinatoli, snapped his ACL in semi-quarterfinals. Literally, it wasn't ACL. Sorry, his Achilles, and you just saw his foot dangling there like that. Right. He would have been world class as well because he had the pace, and he's never been the same since. Luke Shaw's, you've only got to look at his leg; it looks like he's been attacked by Wolverine. But we kept him. We gave him big money. There's rumours about Jadon Sancho being offered an extra year so we can get more money for him. Mm-hmm. Well, if anyone hears this extra year bullshit, I'll let you into a little nugget. Their contracts have a 50% take home. So if United send him for 10 million, he gets 5 million.
Yeah.
If he extends that contract. Thank you, Woodward. You're a dickhead.
Yeah.
So why would we sign him, keep him on high wages, and then give him half of that transfer fee?
And there's a good chance if you add up what realistically we could get, let's say he didn't cheat. He's calling you out.
I beat him by like 1 point. If I cheated,
you literally lost by 1 point. Bitter.
And we all know it's because my mum went to a Pink Floyd concert.
Yeah.
No one else knew that answer.
But yeah, so if we work out realistically how much money we can make from, let's say, a Rashford, 30 to 40 if we're lucky?
Yeah. I would take 30.
Garnacho, 40 to 50. Sancho, 20 to 30, realistically.
Which is all pure profit.
Yeah, except for Sancho.
Sancho's not, sorry, but, Garnacho, people like that. There's still talk of the Mainu going.
Yeah, I can't see that.
I can see one going, whoever they get the most money for. And it might come down to that for balance. But
and then if we're lucky, if there is any real gossip about Luke Shaw potentially going, you're only getting 5 at a push, couple of mil. 2.
Yeah.
Might be lucky. You might get 10 from who did I see? Jordan Henderson's on Sunderland's radar.
Yeah, but that's finished his career, isn't it? Obviously, that's where he came from. That's his first club, pro club.
And that's the thing. I don't think Luke Shaw could probably do a job for a Burnley because they're physical. Sunderland, very physical club.
No, you take him on a pay as you play contract.
The other thing is, you move out if you can get a fucking club in MLS. Finish your career out in the MLS. I understand the Saudi thing. It's ridiculous amounts of money, but if you've got the opportunity to play in America, I get it. The soccer sort of.
Well, that was shown if you watch the Inter Miami game. You weren't watching it, but this is where this tournament is the only thing it's going to show is the difference in leagues. Inter Miami is not far off of the fucking Saudi league with all those superstars. They couldn't beat anyone. Beat them. It's 0-0 draw.
Yeah, and it's worrying because the crowds that they're attracting in the Club World Cup. What are the crowds going to be like for the World Cup next year?
Well, if they're going to be playing at these times, yeah. They ain't going to be great, and they're going to have the thunderstorm warnings and everything like that. Here we would play Germany. They played, and it was striking like 20 minutes away, so it was literally on top of them.
Yeah,
and they're doing half-hour warnings. It's ridiculous. But they've done it. They've always done it in their sports. It's a standard like operating procedure in America. I get it. I wouldn't want to be playing football with lightning striking inside a giant steel structure. So
no.
Let's get back to the things. So basically, what we were alluding to when we started talking about transfers is the starting 11 is down to how we look at these games.
Yeah.
So I propose to you, what if we say we get in an Osman and then Berno and Acuna? We'll leave it at that. We have a new front three.
Okay.
But
Osman I'm not a fan of, but...
No, but just say it's capable of scoring 50 goals, which we missed out on last season. Because we got 20, 20 and 10, yeah?
Okay. Yep. I'm with you.
Then you start looking at Arsenal going, well, do they get a striker? If they bring in another big flop, Sesko will be a flop at Arsenal, I'm telling you now. You heard that.
We'll clip that.
You clip that. You hear that right here. Reason being, he's not even finished close to being a top goal scorer in Germany, where Harry Kane can score goals for fun with his arse. So, although he couldn't score in a 10-0 win against Adelaide, that should be looked into. That makes all these games different. If you've got that front three, we were quite solid in our centre backs. Our midfield, we probably asked for one player, and we can keep the ball away from Onana fucking up. Yeah?
Yeah. Funny that.
Well, it is. It just makes it so different to how I would look at these games. But a lot of these, like Brighton, when we play Brighton, obviously close to me, well, close to my heart, but
and close to your home.
Well, literally. We never want to play them. There's not a Man United fan who fancies, we're going to Brighton, we'll get results. No, we don't get results at Brighton regularly at all. We don't get results at Brentford.
Nope.
The Liverpool game.
Forest away, Spurs away.
We got Forest. Did they do a Leicester last year, or did as in Leicester league winning title?
Well, on that. James made a really great point. He's made a lot of great points, let's be honest. So it's great to have him back.
I love it in the chat.
Yeah, so he made a great point. A lot of people have been slandering United, predicting we were finished 12th to 16th. But Forest last season did the unthinkable, went from relegation fodder to European contender. No reason why we can't. Now that's a really good point because obviously we are now. I think there's only 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams above us that aren't in European football.
Yeah, something like that.
And then everyone else. So there's no reason. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, by the way. I'm not saying we're now going to jump from wherever we finished, 15th to 4th.
Well, there was an opportunity for it went down 11 places. If everything went our way, we could have had 11 places in Europe, down to 11th. With the 5 Champions Leagues, and if Arsenal went and won the Champions League and things, all circumstances with obviously Tottenham won or we've won, plus Chelsea winning, it could have gone to 11 places with the right winners in the right places. That would have been Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Forest, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's 11. That's more than half the Premier League. We're in 15th.
In European football next year, Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, Spurs, who else? Villa, Newcastle. Why am I missing someone? Forest.
And Palace.
So there's no reason why. I'm not saying, obviously, they're all going to fall off a cliff because they've all got fissure conjecture because obviously Arsenal went quite far in the Champions League. But still ended up.
Champions League teams I worry about, mate. I think we go in Europa League with 2 to 3 teams. we win it. And we do that pretty much every year unless people are winning doubles and trebles, in England, which will change them. Conference League, I expect an English team to win it every fucking year.
Yeah.
There is no way we're losing the Conference League. It might actually just be called the English Premier League trophy.
Who's going in it? Is it?
It will be Forest.
Oh, did they end up in the conference? That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because Newcastle took 5th, Villa was 6th with Palace in Europa League, and Forest went 7th.
Oh, it's been ages since we finished.
Yeah, and that was literally close to Brighton being in there as well. It ended up 4 points of difference, but that was the last couple of games where that went tits up. Bournemouth dropped off. But I've been saying for the last 2 seasons, there is no more top 4, top 6. Literally, in that middle table, I will say from 7th down to outside of relegation, anyone beats anyone on a Saturday. And it happens regularly. This is why the points is getting smaller. The safety thing, they're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So we're on 44 points or 42, was it? 42? 42. And that should be safety. That should be a 10, 11, 12 on some seasons.
Yeah.
But when you've got championship teams coming up now and getting nothing, pretty much.
Which I can't imagine. Yeah, so who came up? Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds. I would be surprised if Leeds go back down.
Well, they've got the funding now from the Red Bull Group. You got Burnley have got all the funding from. It's not Brady, it's the other guy, isn't it? American footballers thing. It was on the overlap. Can't think what his name is. Yeah. And who's the other team that come up? So Sunderland will be the expected drop.
Evening, Stephanie.
Stephanie. Evening. From Tacticals. One of the mods from Tacticals.
Nice to see you. So, yeah, should we do a little predictions?
Yeah, why not?
So, just for fun.
With my starting front 3.
Oh, we should also mention, and Mark pointed out to me beforehand, obviously no Boxing Day games. So we've got 7 days between our pre-Christmas and then after Christmas games. And the gap between Burnley and Manchester City in January is because that is when the 10th of January is the FA Cup third round proper. Yeah, will be played. So, and the Champions League starts up again in November.
I think there's going to be something done about this because it's a load of bullshit from the Premier League. They're basically trying to say it's about player welfare, giving them less games. Mm-hmm. But as I pointed out to you, guys, I don't know if you look at the fixtures and start from the 27th. So there's no Boxing Day games. We're going to play on the 27th. We literally go 27th, 30th, 3rd, 7th. Then the FA Cup's the 10th.
Yep.
17th, 24th. You're playing a game every 3 days. Yep. Straight after Christmas.
2 home, 2 away.
Give them like a week's break at Christmas. Bear in mind, Spain, Germany, places like that, get a month.
Yeah.
But they want to give them a week's break. I mean, have your 3rd round match in there. What you're actually doing is compressing the games and putting more stress on the players when actually they've been through will still have a week's training. They won't get any rest. They'll get Christmas Day off, yeah. But they will still come in and train in the morning, and there will probably still be a light yoga session or because you're playing on the 27th. Yeah. So Boxing Day, they're travelling if it's an away game. So it's just more Premier League bullshit if it's up there with the 115 charges, in my opinion, but haven't come out yet.
Amen. So we're looking at the first 5. Tough to start. I mean, if you go to the 8, you've got Liverpool in there as well. So it's a tough start to the season. The run into the end of the season isn't much better.
Nope. And the middle's not great either. As I said to you, we've got City and Arsenal. back
There
to
we
back.
go. Stephanie's going straight in for the predictions. Predict 11
Love
points
that.
from our first 5 Premier League games. Win, draw, win, draw, win. Okay. Still no consecutive wins for us. Sorry, missed start of show. No, it's all good. All good. Yeah. James coming in. What is the 115? It's a myth. Yeah, seems that way. Seems that way.
It's a very big lawsuit coming
It's
to
just
Premier League
been
play
it's
from
just been
19th
shoved under
club.
the carpet while they're out in America playing the Club World Cup. They're just forgetting about the 115.
And buying all their players before their transfer embargo gets put out.
Yeah, and sticking Erling Haaland on 800 grand a week because they know he might want to leave. So yeah, the run in to the end of the season not great, but I think, I mean, we spoke about it earlier. If I would 11 points from first 5, win, draw. So no consecutive wins, but no losses from
So
the first 5. I would be so draw
I'd be over
against
the
Fulham.
moon with that.
Yeah, yeah, I think I would.
So
That's what I
what
think.
is
I
it?
said
Win,
12.
draw.
So win against Arsenal, draw against Fulham, win against Burnley, draw against City, win against Chelsea. I'd be over the moon with that.
Okay, well, I would swap. I would like to think if we, like I say, I believe we will get something right in the transfer window, and I believe in Amarin. Draw against Arsenal, then back-to-back wins.
Finally,
Draw against City because I think we'll sit and try and counter, and we beat Chelsea. But my biggest fear, I look at all these fixtures and go, how are we going to change our home form?
yeah,
That's my biggest fear. We've got to come out. That's why we have to beat Arsenal. We have to beat it. Like I said, I would take a loss. I would take a draw, but we have to win the first game at Old Trafford, and then the Burnley game at Old Trafford. Back-to-back wins. We haven't had back-to-back wins in the Premier League now for too long. What was it? Something like 18 games or something now
so
currently.
James is predicting draw, win, win, loss, win. So yeah, that's probably what I would have gone with, more or less. I think we'll get a draw against Arsenal. I reckon that'll be the Friday night game because all the other.
No, it's Sunday. It's Sunday 4:30.
Was
Sky
it?
have already put that out.
Ooh, cheeky. So Sunday 4:30. So that will be built up for the entire weekend. So that will end up being a 0-0 board draw.
Yeah, Liverpool are playing on the Friday night. I'm sure they'll be happy about
Fulham
that.
away will be a 3:00 on a Saturday, and we'll beat. And normally, what happens is when we're playing on the 3:00, we normally end up spanking whoever team we're playing.
Yeah. So currently, the times I have currently are 4:30 on the Arsenal. Then it's Saturday 3, Saturday 3. City, and then that's where it stopped. The City game is still showing a Saturday 3:00 kickoff, and that's never
Yeah,
going to
so
be the
that's
case.
that's TBC. So that'll be a Friday night or a Sunday afternoon.
There could be a Saturday 12:30 because it's a derby on TNT.
Yeah,
And then Chelsea the following Saturday will be moved to a Sunday. All these fixtures, there's still a lot of movements to be had. No
yeah.
cup matches being put in or anything.
Stephanie spot on. Is what I said is 3 p.m.s might actually help us, and I think that's going to be absolutely right. With no European football, that going back to a Saturday for 3:00 kickoff. I know, unless you are unnamed and have access to certain ways of watching 3:00 kickoffs, it's unfortunate for certain fans. Yeah, you drink your drink. Or you're one of our American contingents in Naomi who's able to watch every single game she wishes, whether legal or illegal, but there we are. And then you got me, little old me, who's just, law-abiding citizen, just going along, just waiting for United to be on the telly because I can't afford to go to Old Trafford. Yeah.
Not after the news that has just come out today as well. Ticket prices could go as high as £97 a game.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to mention that. I didn't want to.
Well, we have to mention it. It's sort of our jobs, but don't believe everything you see. They said there was a 5% increase. That is a 50% increase, and someone missed off the 0, I think. So,
yeah, not good at all. But I am.
well, what about after the first 5 then? So, Brentford, Sunderland, Liverpool, Brighton.
I reckon draw against Brentford. Draw against Brentford. Win against Sunderland.
Yeah, Brentford could go any way, right? Because it's a new manager. We haven't even got a clue who's going in there at the moment and who's staying.
No. I wouldn't like to predict a loss against Liverpool, but I will predict a draw.
Yeah, it is at Anfield. Then we're at home to Brighton, which has gone horrendous in the last 4 years. I think we've conceded 3 goals plus.
And then two really tough back-to-back away games. Tottenham away, Forest away, then Tottenham away.
Yeah. So Forest, like I say, we're playing them on the 1st of November. We'll see how European football starts kicking in for them as well. Tottenham, again, Thomas Frank will totally change those players and see who he brings in. I'm sorry, I love that, Stephanie. Yeah, money back guarantee.
Money back guarantee. 21 is coming.
I'll tell you, if I paid £97 for a ticket and those players I see not giving everything for the shirt, I'm running on the pitch and ripping it off them.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll
be uproar.
It's going to be because obviously the price increase, first game at home, being on Sky, being against Arsenal, the crowd is. If we go 1-0 down, it will turn really toxic, and not towards Amorim and not towards the players. I would imagine just purely all aimed at Ratcliffe and the Ineos and the Glazers. Here's a question:
it's going to be their way to spend more in a transfer market now and recoup it through increasing ticket prices 50%.
Well, you actually asked a really good question. Let me get rid of the fixtures because we pretty much covered that. Let me just remove that for a minute. I'll come back to that. Oh, look at the size of me. There we are.
Hey, it's me.
You raised a really good question in our group chat the other day, and it was, and I'll put it out to everyone. Would you take a 10-point deduction or a PSR?
Well, I looked at Everton's original deduction of PSR failure of 10 points. I know it got halved, but we'll call it a 10-point deduction.
Yeah.
It could be a 0 points deduction now because if, like I say, the 115 is all going to have to be sorted before the start of this season. Would you burst the bank and sign everyone you need to sign, knowing you fail PSR and the following season you lose points, or even that season, but as long as you get European football to get back into Europe? Now, I asked this before we even signed Cunha because I didn't believe there was players out there still that would come and play for the badge.
I answered yes. I answered that I would break PSR, take a 5-point deduction because you get 5. If you get 10, the 5 that you give back, pretty much or whatever, is basically cooperating with the investigation. They give you 5 points back. That's basically what Everton got off on.
And it's a £20 million fine, by the way,
which is
peanuts
in what comparison to what these players are
that
making.
That was based on something Chelsea were charged with failing. So, and yet they still didn't even get transfer ban. Now, if we got a transfer ban, that would change everything. But if it was just a points deduction for deliberately failing, which is possible. Thanks, Stephanie.
Yeah, cheers, Stephanie. No, what we normally do is we try and do 2 shows a week. So normally on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then normally on a Saturday evening. But if we're not streaming live, we will be putting out pre-recorded shows so you can still get involved and have your say on certain things, and we'll keep an eye out on the comments. But yeah, so Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and then Saturday evenings are our usual. And then when the season starts, we'll be doing a bit more Friday nights, Saturday nights, and hopefully Sundays for reviews and previews. Because obviously,
our midweek ones will go out before Champions League games or something kick off. Obviously, no one wants to listen to us talking when we're not in Europe.
Yeah.
So
we'll just be bitching and moaning about how we're not in it. Not that I will. But no, really appreciate the sub. Thank you so much. I guarantee if we broke PSR, they would bring out new legislation and we'll be packed off to the conference to play Forest Creek.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
If it's Manchester United, it's a different rule.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be. Because Man United are not allowed to get back to the top.
How great would it be to do like a, we've all done it, and don't say you haven't. Anyone that's played FIFA, you've put Man United in League Two. We've all done it. And just see like how Rangers did it, the rise back up, and then they won the league when they got back up. How good would it be? I'm not saying it would be that easy because obviously there's only 2 teams in Scotland. Ooh.
Well, that's on the scenario of would the Glazers fuck off if we got relegated?
I think they would. There's no money in it. There's no money in the club then, you know. Yeah, hated, adored, never ignored, 100%. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I was saying I would, if on the basis, obviously we're just going on the basis, evening, I assume that's Jarvis, evening, mate. Yeah, so we're just going off the basis of what Everton got fined. 5 points. If we got into Champions League, let's say we get into Champions League next season, get deducted 5 points the season afterwards, end up finishing 8th, 9th, 10th. It's not bad, is it?
Mine was based in, if we hit Champions League and failed PSR, we would probably still be capable of dropping into a Europa spot, be it conference or league, but you're back in Europe.
Yeah.
But to break PSR, the signings I would want is goalkeeper. I'm happy with Emi Martinez. I'd rather have what's his name? The Bilbao goalkeeper. I can't think what his name is. It's gone.
I'd rather James Trafford, to be honest.
Well, he's gone. He's signing for. I can't think that he's signing for someone.
Newcastle,
apparently.
Allegedly.
I would take Ederson from Atalanta as a midfielder. I think he's the perfect replacement for Casemiro. And if it was possible, I'd be inquiring to Inter about player plus cash swap for Denzel Dumfries, and they can have Garnacho or someone like that. Diego Simon, thank you, James. That's the guy. James. I rate him as.
I was just seeing everyone saying names in the chat, and I just thought James felt left out, so he just chucked Simon out. But Diego Simon.
No, Diego Simon. I rate him up there with Donnarumma and that Spanish number 1. I think he's great with his feet. Superb shot stopper.
Unai Simon. Yeah.
Unai Simon? I thought it was Diego Simon.
Diego Simeone. I don't know. I don't watch anything.
You all know who I mean.
I only watch English football.
Simon says number 1 for Spain.
Yeah.
I did get excited for about 30 seconds when Donnarumma was linked with us, but we all knew that was fake news.
Fake news, indeed. Right, where are we? What's the date today?
It is the 18th, mate.
Thank you. Still 1-1 with the Real Madrid Al Hilal game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a.
And England need one more goal, and they're in the 92nd minute to make the quarterfinals of the European Under-21 Championship. Oh, evening, Reese. Good to see you, my friend. Emi Martinez, he watches so much football, this man. It's unbelievable. So I only know one of those. Are any of them Scottish, Reese?
No, but he's been listening to... can't think what his name is. I've seen 2 of those names come up on the same shortlist of 3 goalkeepers on a certain other YouTube channel.
Reese, if I was to ask you what your thoughts are on Gunther facing Goldberg at Saturday night's main event, what would your reaction be? And if you want top wrestling content, please head over to the Weekly Steel Chair. It is brilliant. AEW, WWE, TNA, NJPW, all covered on the Weekly Steel Chair. Really top man, Rick Martinez.
I like Martinez. It's he's the right mentality. Again, going back to mentality. Is he the right mentality to come in? Martinez. Then we've got Martinez in front of him with, strong mentality there. and the link with the Argentinian.
Yeah.
Then in midfield, we've got weak mentality. And then we'll move on to the attackers, strong mentalities. It is the midfield I'm worried about, and that's the backbone of the team. I literally called this, didn't I, before the end of the season? In fact, we're signing 2 10s. I said Bruno would play 8.
We've been harping on about that for a long time
since Christmas, because that's what he was doing. It's false 9 or he's in an 8. He will not play in the 10 position because he can't pass the ball. Possible penalty check in a Real Madrid game, just so you're aware.
No, we'll head over to wherever it is. Hard Rock Stadium. Live reaction from Reese. I'd rather go to sleep than watch Older Than Popeberg versus Gunther. Yeah. Seems to me that they took the title off Jey Uso just so they could have the Goldberg versus Gunther match, but that's for talk on the Weekly Steel Chair. Yeah, absolutely great content.
So, going back to the thing, the transfers are important at the end of the day, and it's going to be all based around what we get. You know my feelings. I didn't want to, but I would have sold Bruno, and that would probably funded our entire rebuild if it was needed.
Yeah. We've already argued about this already, but
it's not an argument. You don't want to sell him, but for 100 million for a 31-year-old, you're not getting any money for him now. He's going to see out his contract. End of. That's the be all and end all of the Bruno thing. Unless we go Champions League top 4 this season and Real Madrid come in and want Bruno.
No, very true.
You've got about as much chance of either one of them happening, really, haven't you?
James is throwing players at me, and I have no idea who they are.
But there's got to be a reason he doesn't play for Barca. Barca aren't the greatest at the moment. They're good, but they're not great. I'd take the right back.
Lopez.
Adagio, or whatever his name is. So
was this Angelo Stiller, wasn't it? Yeah, Angelo Stiller. Stiller's a good player. I think operates perfectly between playmaking and being an engine in midfield. And for Tati once out of Inter, I'd be happy. I like Edison, but I think he's Juve bound. Yeah, and Carlos Baleba would have been the £100 million Bruno money. Yeah.
But there was plenty of like.
The midfield.
I wasn't sure last season when we were linked with Unana for Villa. Obviously, he's at Villa now. We were linked when he was still at Everton. And Everton need to sell. So he's someone I would look at, or Jacob Ramsey. You know, at the end of the day, that midfield needs to have legs to get beyond the 10s if the 10s are creating, or fill the gaps the 10s leave if they push into the box. They need legs. They need to be box-to-box midfielders.
Breaking news, penalty awarded in the Real Madrid Al Hilal game. I assume
the player runs past, tries to shield him, and catches him very softly while both running away from goal across the face. It is not a penalty, and the keeper saved it.
Unbelievable. Right, Stephanie's got a question. I assume this is your makeshift front three that you've put together. Question is, if the new front three do their jobs and score 60 Premier League goals collectively and act as a front line of defence, it will help our weak midfield quartet. But ideally, I agree.
What I would say to that, Stephanie, that is the principle behind how our front three is meant to work. There'll be a high energy press. Our problem will be is everyone for the last 2-3 years have sat back in a low block, or so 5-4-1, on the edge of their box.
Yeah.
If we do not break that down, the only way we can do it is obviously having a central striker. Then the 10s would then be in front. The ball is still going to be sitting with Bruno on the edge of the box, and he will keep shooting and lobbing balls over the top. That's not how you break down a low defence. You have to be moving it from side to side, fast passing, get to the byline, get the corner, or get the cutback. We don't. We every time this happens, we were getting shots off, and Amrin was going mental on touchline, they weren't doing what they were told. So it's about discipline. You are so spot on with what you put. The front three, 60 goals. I think if we bring Gyökeres or Osimhen in, you half their goal tally. 15 goals, first season in the Premier League.
And just for the record, just so I can have a quick mention, I don't want either of those. I'd rather keep what we've got than either Gyökeres or Osimhen, personally.
I had a good chat, obviously, about those two with, and I can see the pros and cons. And Ekitike can just go nowhere near United for that kind of money with an unproven goal scoring record. So they're the only three. So where's Rasmus in this? Actually, he's not far off if you give him the service. 16 goals in his first season, and I'm telling you now, Gyökeres is getting roughly the same. But it's all about service, and that's the unknown. Unfortunately, that is the unknown that we're going to be stuck with until after we've probably played Liverpool. Like I say, that first 8 games, because you can't look at pre-season. Pre-season is pre-season. Youngsters will be playing and things like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, James, I would. For the sake of the drama that comes with a Gyökeres, or especially in Osimhen, the baggage that they bring at this. I mean, the whole Gyökeres deal is just stinks to me. It's not ideal, and it's really just not what we want at the club at the minute. And Osimhen, I really personally don't rate him. I haven't seen enough of him to think, yeah, that's who I want playing up front for Manchester United. I'd rather just stick with
penalty box striker. He does not move from the penalty spots and 6-yard box. When I did the show with Jarvis, he put the heat map up, and literally, that's your box. He is here.
Yeah.
Always. Straight through the middle, right here. Where Gyökeres was here, 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 here. So he's a build-up player, and he's still playing people in because they're still playing the same system where the 10s get into the box, the striker comes out, the 10 comes in. We still don't know if that's going to work. Like I say, it's not necessarily the 10s and the striker. They still need service of the ball. Short, sharp passes, receiving the ball on the half turn, giving it to those wing backs that actually play 4 or 5 passes to get up the pitch, not chasing a long ball in behind. A lot has to change. A lot. Offer Højlund for Edison. Atlanta, return him to Atalanta for an Atalanta player.
Yeah.
Having back is broken. It's going to be a long season, but the transfer window opens Friday? Tomorrow?
It's already open, isn't it?
Is it reopened again?
Yeah. Pretty sure it is. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to agree with us. And
I would have thought some deals would have gone through on the first day, that's all.
You definitely don't have to agree with me, and you really don't have to agree with what Mark's got to say. Well, none of us agree, and that's the beauty of this channel. You all get. Thank you, Steph.
Oh, no, it looks like just getting me. I think he was saying Stephanie. Thank you. Oh, he's back.
Sorry, Stephanie. Completely. No idea what happened there. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Really appreciate it. Like I said, reopen Monday the transfer window because obviously the Club World Cup kicked off, so those teams have already registered their players. Sorry.
The weirdest thing, she might just left it open, still going, haven't they? No, James, you're not wrong about Rasmus, but we just don't know if he's been making the runs he's been coached to do, and people haven't been filling the spaces. That's I don't want to fed up. I keep blowing it, but obviously, Nate, you weren't here, and I was obviously on a different show. But that's what we were talking about: the 2 10s getting in. At the moment, Rasmus gets caught with 2 centre backs and a right or left back marking him because no one's in the box with him. We need players in that box. We need the wing backs getting high enough up the pitch, coming in as a third or second striker in at the back post. We're not doing that. So Rasmus has actually created more chances by running and taking a player away and someone scoring than he gets chances created for him. But he's also got in the way a lot because we take Hollywood shots. So that sometimes makes he's making a run. Potentially, I'm not there if I was coaching him, it would be stand on the bloody penalty spot or stand to the right or stand to the left and make your run diagonal from post to post. But he's got a whole pre-season. He's got all this tape to go back. He can look. This kid is 22. He's 22. In theory, he's only just done one proper year of professional football. If you go by the structure, we play under 21s, you graduate, or like you said earlier, we've just let a load of 21s go. They're not good enough. Rasmus is young, and if he doesn't have what I call a father figure to learn from, it will never work for him. But he will go back to another team. He's strong, he's fast, and we wouldn't have signed him if
you sell a Rasmus to a Napoli. I think he would do pretty well. For the physicality of the Italian league.
Learning off Lukaku.
Yeah.
Don't
you want to talk about baggage and entourage problems. There's another one.
Yeah, there's another one. But it's...
Also, I want to bring up the frustrates the cock off me statement. I think that's a brilliant... That's the title of the podcast. If we had to clip it up and do a title, that's the one. I think we'll leave it there. Brilliant chat tonight, guys. Really appreciate everyone getting involved. Reese, good to see you. Really good. Have to get you on at some point. James, always a pleasure. Been a little while, but it's great to be back. And yeah, we'll be doing another show over the weekend. If we get a chance, maybe we'll do some pre-records and we'll chuck out some fun stuff before the new season starts.
Obviously, I'd like to say thank you to Jarvis and Stephanie jumping over from the Tactical Devil show as well.
Yeah, and thank you for
from 9 p.m.
Yeah, brilliant show. Really good people. We'll have to keep the brothership going between the channels, and we'll hop on there, and you guys can hop on here whenever you feel like. But yeah,
I just want, before we jump off,
go on.
Obviously Jarvis, you just put that in there about his instincts. He had a killer instinct in his first season, and it does seem like it's been coached out of him. If you go back, his first season was better than Delap's, and we were going to sign Delap's. All his stats are better. So what changed? Was he a striker only for one, because of his age, only for one thing? You know, this is my role. I can only play this role. Like a lot of young footballers are now coached. They all play out from the back in a 4-3-3. They only know how to play one position. Or has it got too much for him? There's time will tell. Like you said, if he goes to another team, him, Garnacho, Mainu, these players might, thrive. But there's a lot of pressure at the moment at United, and it's not where you want a young 21, 22, 19-year-old coming through. And I think I'd like to leave it there.
Yep, frustrates the cock off me. Perfect. Good stuff. No, really appreciate everyone's time. And yeah, we'll see you again very soon. Have a good evening.
Night all.